Hello there, friends. Welcome to Family Movie Night, where we talk about what we watch for Family Movie Night. My name is Mike, and today we will be talking about Moana 2. Moana 2 just came out. It is the sequel to the beloved animated movie Moana back in 2016. The premise of this movie is after receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana must journey to the far seas of Oceania into dangerous and dangerous in Moana must journey to the far seas of Oceania into dangerous and after receiving an unexpected call after receiving an unexpected call from a wave after receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana must journey to the far seas of Oceania and into dangerous, long lost waters for an adventure unlike anything she's ever faced. So, it has been 8 years since Moana came out, and it's probably safe to say that Moana is among one of Disney's more successful projects in recent memory. It is consistently something that is referenced as it's it's referenced a lot as one of Disney's strongest animated performers or animated movie performers on Disney Plus. So consistently it's something that just continues to do really well. So when I first initially heard that Moana was getting a sequel, I thought it was just going to be the live action remake, which I do think is a little unnecessary considering that it hasn't been out for very long. It's the same way I feel about the How I Met Your Drag or How to Train Your Dragon a lot live action movie. It's just way too soon to be remaking animated movies in live action because nobody's asking for any of this. So when they pivoted and said that Moana 2 was going to be a series, I was excited for something that was a little bit on the longer end for Moana that could tell like a more rich story and kind of introduce some new elements to the lore. But then they pivoted one last time to say that, yep, we're going to release the live action version and we're also going to release this movie that's coming out in November of this year, which didn't seem all like a great idea because it just felt like a lot of things were condensed in here and a lot of things were half baked. And the problem initially that I have with Moana 2 is that this is a movie that is just two separate things. It is it's very clear where the moments were that this was a TV show. So the TV show had all of these random side characters who barely got developed, and I'm assuming had more of a backstory and more to do in the animated series. But because we had to cut the time roughly by two-thirds, maybe like a little bit more than that, that's a lot of time to condense, and that means the short end of the stick is going to go to the new characters. So the question is, why introduce all these new characters if you're not going to develop any of them? That's because this was supposed to be an animated TV show on Disney Plus, which Disney, shame on you. You should have gone through or you should have done one or the other. If you would have stuck with this being a animated TV series, I'm sure it would have done great on Disney Plus. Moreover, it could have given more time to develop some of the issues with the story as well as some of the characterization or some of the issues potentially with the characters. So, for example, there's three main new characters that help Moana in her journey to find this new cursed island. So you have Loto, who is the person who kind of helps take care of all of the engineering on the boats, kind of making sure that it's ready to go. You have Moni, who is a big fan of Maui's and kind of the muscle of the group. And then you have Kele, who is the farmer. I don't understand why you need a farmer for this, but hey, whatever. So we have this, and all three of them just kind of get the short end of the stick. The farmer character in particular really gets the short end of the stick. I felt like his character had way more importance, but just not a whole lot more to do. So beyond that, the other emotion or the other character that is introduced in this is Simia, who is Moana's little sister, who her parts were perfectly fine. She served her purpose by being super cute and letting everyone know that Moana has larger stakes this time around. Yes, we do understand that. However, I feel like she was given more to do, or she would have gotten more to do if she was in a TV show. But a lot of her parts, I'm sure, were cut for time, which was a mistake because some of the best moments in this are the interactions between Simia and Moana because it shows the personal growth that she's having. She becomes more entrenched in everything on the island, and the ability for her to come back from these wayfinding expeditions, the stakes get elevated much higher because she has someone to come back to. Now, she has more people depending on her, but the one thing that matters is that she's got her little sister depending on her. So, overall, the characters are underdeveloped. The story isn't great. Well, potentially, does that mean that the music can elevate this? No, the music takes a giant step back from what it was in the original Moana, and that is largely due to the lack of Lin-Manuel Miranda, who didn't come back for this for some strange reason. But this, oops, sorry, the music in this was just a giant step back, and it just felt lifeless. There's nothing memorable about any of these songs, so. That's quite unfortunate. Where I will give the movie credit, though, is that I really bought the relationship between Moana and her entire crew, even if most of those crew members were really underdeveloped. I thought that the mission was interesting, at least, and some of the cool moments in terms of uniting the world and some of these different people, I thought that was really cool. I thought that that had a lot of potential to have a lot of fun stories and characteristics and different things like that. And I do like how they expand a little bit more on the South Pacific culture and different aspects surrounding it besides just like the Maori culture, if that makes sense. So there are, believe it or not, some things that I really did enjoy about this. But the things that I didn't like about this trump a lot of this stuff, unfortunately. Weak characters, kind of a so-so plot, and the music, those are three death nails as far as I'm concerned. And it's really disappointing to see Disney treating Moana, one of its more successful characters, in this fashion. So the movie itself, I would say it's thumbs middle. It's perfectly fine. But Disney, who's the studio that released this, gets a giant thumbs down for meddling in what could have been a really genuinely great sequel, but interfered way too much in order to just make a buck. And unfortunately, this movie is going to make bank in its first weekend. So, since it's going to make bank, the potential to make more of these is going to increase. And I hope Disney learns its lesson from this to indicate that maybe, just maybe, they should leave well enough alone and let Moana continue to be a movie franchise and just continue to develop it from start to finish as a movie instead of what they did originally. So, what did you think of Moana or Moana 2? Did you like it? Was it something that it met your expectations? Let me know below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Family Movie Night. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Skies, YouTube, and Threads at SPDM Crew or SPDM Crew. Check out our website at spdmcrew.com. Shout out to Highflyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logos. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you have any need for marketing brand standards or logo needs, contact them at highflyercreative.com. If you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, happy watching, friends.